Well, the first stage of a $2 billion flood protection project is about to get underway on Staten Island. Plus, the City of Yes rezoning plans getting a big no from residents there. Staten Island Borough President Vito Fossella joining us this morning to fill us in on these issues and much more. Good morning to you, Mr. Fossella. Great to see you.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Happy Monday. It's
Happy
great to
Monday.
be with you as always.
Happy Monday to you, too. So before we get to what's happening on Staten Island, we do want you to weigh in on President Joe Biden's decision not to seek re-election. A surprise to all of us. But how much does this change the campaign for Republicans?
But I think it changed a lot, right? I mean, it's also reassuring to people of faith because I think it was the president just a few weeks ago who said the Lord Almighty was the only one who could possibly convince him to drop out. So I guess he paid a visit. Uh, but, I'm going to say a few things, if I might. Well, it was about a year ago that many people thought that the president, despite his commitment to the country, was unable to campaign and ultimately serve. And there were many who were told, you don't like the guy, all these different reasons. And what happened just 24 hours ago, they all came to the decision that many reached about a year ago. So what does that do? I think it changes the dynamics dramatically. I think it was an indication that they felt they could not win in November. Objectively, I think that they had to reach that conclusion. But now it's a new person. There's going to be a new performance level you have to reach. There's the money come in, the perception of the new candidate. And almost immediately, if it is the vice president, her number one priority has been the border and the securing of the border. And I think many people, not just across the country, but especially here in Staten Island, we've been fighting those open border policies because they've hurt neighborhoods, not just in Staten Island, but across the city. So now those things have to come to the table. And most importantly, the issues still remain the same. What are the most important issues for the people of this country, for the people of Staten Island? The economy, inflation, our national security, our personal security. Those are the things that must resonate. And who's best to lead the future of this country? Because the people of this country deserve the best. And that's going to happen. And I don't know how they're going to maintain their credibility when just a couple of weeks ago they said the president was running circles around everybody. And we saw, sadly, that was not the case. But let's be positive. Let's hope that the country's future is bright. I believe it will be. And just do the best we possibly can.
All right, now let's switch gears and head over to your borough. Let's talk about the mayor's City of Yes rezoning plans, which will bring more affordable housing to Staten Island. But it's not getting a complete warm welcome. So why are residents having an issue with some of these plans?
Thank you for asking. So for those who may not know, Staten Island is very different from the rest of New York City in terms of density. Staten Island is predominantly 1- and 2-family homes. Most people own their own homes. We have a lot of cars, a lot of off-street parking, so the streets are pretty crowded, in part because we don't have mass transit options, but that's for another day. And the proposal that are coming forward would just increase density dramatically and I think would compromise the character and integrity of many neighborhoods. So what we have said is that one size does not fit all in this city. That Staten Island should maintain some flexibility in planning its future. And that's why people from across the borough, Democrats and Republicans, community leaders, community board members, et cetera, have said, time out and put the brakes on it. And let's tweak this in such a way that it's consistent with what's good for Staten Island, not what's good and works in other parts of the city.
Yeah. We also wanted to ask you about the flooding and draining issues on Staten Island. They're one step closer to being resolved. Earlier this year, the construction began on new systems, and now the Army Corps of Engineers gave the green light for a flood protection project to get underway. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. There's been a lot of progress over the last several decades in mitigating flood damage. I mean, I grew up in a place called South Beach that when we had heavy rains, man, we were bailing out the basements. But that's gone, right? Because we've installed new sewers. We have what they call a blue belt system, which is a wonderful way in which we work with nature to handle storm runoff. But the big one, unfortunately, occurred in Hurricane Sandy when Staten Island got walloped. We lost a lot of lives that day, a lot of property damage. And the seawall, it really is a response to that to ensure that we don't have one of those days ever again. And that is in progress. And ultimately, the goal is to protect the people of Staten Island, protect the shoreline, and protect life, and we can enjoy the wonderful waterfront we have while not being destroyed if another storm of that magnitude hits us. So that's what's happening, and we're always trying to make progress here. And I think we are in that regard.
All right, well, before we let you go, today marks the start of Restaurant Week all across the 5 boroughs. I mean, a good excuse to go eat out. I mean, do you have any restaurants there on Staten Island that you would recommend to folks to check out?
Oh, you get me in trouble. You know, we have a lot of great restaurants here on Staten Island. Places we go across the South Shore, Mid Island, and North Shore, they're all great. You know, some of our favorites, so only because we're loyal people, at places like La Fontana, Danino's, a place called so there are a lot of great restaurants here, and I'm gonna get I'm not gonna get myself in trouble picking some out. But you can probably, as the expression is, swing a bat and you end up in one of the great restaurants. So we encourage everybody to take advantage of it. They work hard.
Yes, they
It's
do.
a tough business. It's a very tough business, so we try to support them whenever we can.
Yeah, go support your local restaurants. Thanks so much, Staten Island Borough President Vito Fossella. Always great to see you.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a great day.
You too.